Hey, this show is truly big up the quarterback. And this is QB Talk, the podcast. You got to get in where you fit in. And today, we not in Florida today. Oh, no. We down here in Las Vegas, Nevada. And guess who I got the pleasure of having on my show today? Man, talk to him, man. Introduce yourself, man. Let the people know who you are, man.
What's happening with your brother?
Man, everything good. Real good.
Yes,
real
yes,
good. Real good. Real
yes,
good.
You know, my name is Troy Carter, out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin, by way of Markham, Illinois, West Side Chicago, LA's family, what up? And I've been in Vegas since 2006, so this is my new home. So what's happening with you, man?
Hey, man, you've been here since 2006?
Yes, sir.
So you done seen it all.
Yes, sir.
Well, let me say this, man. One thing about QB Talk, the podcast, our mission statement is a little bit different, which is why you're on here today.
Right.
It's a lot of people that really move and shake and really put the work in behind the scenes.
Mm-hmm.
But the truth of the matter is they don't really, get their props. They don't get the accolades, but they the ones doing the real work.
Yes, sir.
So my thing is just in terms of, and I know you wear a lot of different hats, and we're going to get into that.
Right.
But just in terms of your journey, that thus far, tell me two things that you don't like about the entertainment side of the business, and then we're going to get right into your story. If you had to guess.
You said two things I don't like?
Yeah, the two things that
only two?
and I narrowed it down to two for a reason, because I know just during the course of this journey that we're about to take them on, we're going to bring them up to speed.
Yes, sir. So one of the first and most important things is I don't like how we mismanage our positions. We have the ears and eyes of the masses, and we use it for ignorance.
Oh, man.
And then they put the marketing dollars behind ignorance.
Correct.
That's one thing. And the second thing is how we have billions of dollars in this industry.
Correct.
But we only have 1 or 2 billionaires in this industry.
Oh, man. You know what? That's a bar. Can you give me that just one more time? That's a bar.
We make billions of dollars in this entertainment industry.
Right.
But we only have 1 or 2 billionaires in this entertainment industry.
Okay. And I'm glad that you pointed that out, because for the people that's not woke, they think that everything is fine because there's more power bestowed upon the artists and labels than ever. However, with that same comment that I just made, it's still a contradiction, because with all that big pool of money there, we only have a couple billionaires.
Right.
And so, in my opinion, and I know this is something that we're going to have to take a journey on, it goes back to purpose and why you're doing what you're doing. So can you give me your take or your version of what purpose is? And I'm going to piggyback off that.
Purpose in what form? In the form of life or in the form of industry?
All right. In the form of life, because I believe that if you are doing what your true purpose is, then the other things will align. That's just my belief.
Purpose is what we exist for.
Okay.
Purpose is the pursuit of every human, or should be the pursuit of every human being that had ever exists. To find your purpose is to find yourself. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So yeah, purpose is everything, bro.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so even with you saying that, and I definitely agree with your definition, and here is one of the problems as to why we don't have more billionaires or more people that's actually getting their piece of the pie. One thing about this, and I'm going to just use the record part of the entertainment industry. Once, it's like a train. Once it starts to move, you're moving. So if you wasn't prepared, and if you didn't know what your purpose was prior to you getting the buzz, prior to you getting the money, prior to you getting the fame, then that ride, it's like a roller coaster. It's just going, right? So you're definitely not going to know your purpose then. And then it kind of, and this is just my opinion, the world according to AMP, it creates a false sense of security to people that think they know what purpose is, because they're finding their purpose at the most fragile time of their life when everybody else is telling them how great they are at that time.
You know what? I think that's strategic by the powers that be. I believe they find people that's premature in their purpose and in their pursuit of purpose, and they blow their heads up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, not to judge one of your Florida brothers and nothing like that,
Mm-hmm.
but just to really send love to him. But I watched an interview earlier on Drink Champs with Kodak Black,
Oh,
and
man.
I see the king in that young brother, right? But I also, based off what you just said, I believe that they grabbed that young man before he can find out the type of king he's supposed to be, and they blew his head up. And I don't believe that he knows his purpose. I don't believe that he knows his true power. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I'm going to piggyback off that because indirectly I know him and I saw his journey early on. And let me say this. If Trump gave him a pardon, then me and you understand life. That didn't just happen by accident.
Not at all.
So either he has... So the NFL pays you for potential, right? You're this good now, but you'll be this good at a later date.
Yes.
Imagine how great they must think Kodak is going to be.
Right.
Because, bro, he got a pardon.
Right.
All right?
Right.
How many people do you think was really on the list? It might have been 50,000 people on the list.
Right.
So out of 50,000 people, 20 people got a pardon. So I said all that to say this. And this goes back to something we're going to get into later. From an industry standpoint, they're going to have to get back to having knowledgeable teams. But I also believe that the people that you have on your team got to have love, respect, and admiration for you. Because if it's just about the paycheck, then they're going to let you run wild. They're going to let you be a crash dummy. And you know this, the labels and the corporations, they're really not... They're not going to say nothing as long as you're producing.
Yeah, that's it.
You know,
yeah.
It's like, because...
It's pimping.
And I didn't want to say that, but...
I mean, I
right.
said it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I ain't want to say that, but that's what it is. And,
yeah.
And the fact that we're touching on purpose, I think more conversations like this need to be had. But that's going to come from you or the artist or the entity having somebody that's seasoned and knowledgeable and having a little wisdom and that know who they are in their camp. And that's one of the things that's missing.
Right.
A talk that me and you get a chance to have indirectly, just in casual conversation, me and you both believe in manifestation, right? And so I definitely want to get your take on that. But what happens when a person is talking and they're asking for all of these things, and then it happens, but they wasn't ready.
Right.
They didn't actually believe, but we'll just use manifestation as a guide. But it actually happens, and they wasn't mentally prepared. They wasn't spiritually prepared, and then even with the people that they're aligned with, they're not prepared.
Right.
So the question that I'm gonna pose to you is a double-edged sword. Can manifestation be a blessing and a curse?
Oh, that's very deep. I believe if manifestation is destiny, then it can't be a curse.
Okay.
It's all for the betterment of somebody, maybe not you.
Okay.
So if you say is it a blessing and a curse for the individual, perhaps.
Okay.
But the people around him that get it, sometimes people are sacrifices, right? Sometimes if I get my chance to shine, but I wasn't prepared for it.
Right.
And you get a chance to observe my light.
Right.
And you see my mistakes, it betters you.
Correct.
If you were in my same space.
Right.
So for the artists, so again, when we see these NBA young boys, Kodak Blacks, Boosies, all these cats that get a chance to shine, and then in their spotlight, when we had a conversation about this, but in their spotlight, they're glorifying the women, they glorifying the drugs and all of these things, right? We got a chance to see generations, right? So when you see Boosie in his early age and he talk about he a killer, he this and that, but then we see him go to jail. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Then we see him be blessed enough to be free from jail, and then we see the humility in him, and then we see him be a grown man, and then a dad.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And then to make mistakes again, and then fix. You get what I'm saying? We get a chance to see an elevation. So he fulfilled his destiny by being that light,
right?
And he showed masses on. He showed masses that if you don't carry your light the right way, you can fumble your light.
No doubt.
and you can be submerged in darkness.
Right.
That brother said he was on death row.
Right.
I'm certain.
Right.
I'm certain it humbled him.
Oh no.
And I'm
No.
certain the people that was close to him and the people that observe him from afar, it humbled them as well. Like, oh,
Right.
we can go to jail for this.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And they had to learn through his experience.
Exactly.
And see, and this is why I like talking about the full spectrum, because these are things, and it's no disrespect to the other channels or the shows that are bigger. Some people do stuff for clicks. Some people do stuff for likes.
Yeah.
We know that, the goal in this game is chasing engagement. One of the things that I wanted to do and that I set out to do differently, when I came up with this podcast, not only to shed light for entrepreneurs to see, but I wanted them to be able to hear stories like yours, but the early in the beginnings. All right. And I know we hadn't got to that yet, but this is one question that I pose to everyone. During your journey, and we know why Nipsey said a marathon. At first, everybody didn't get it, but now we know why he said marathon. And I'm gonna be transparent. I used to work for the Department of Children and Families. I've been a kitchen manager at Ruby Tuesday. I've been a stock person. I worked at a t-shirt place. But the funny part is I learned so much about business, hands-on, even down to just food costs and ordering and overhead. And it helped me in what I'm doing now because I'm still dealing with budgets. You feel me? We and things of that nature. So how that comes back to you is, can you tell the audience what your background is? Because of course, what's going to happen is people are going to see some of the bigger things that you do.
Right.
And I don't want to create a false sense of security in terms of letting them know, okay, you started here. Can you tell us about some of the things you did that prepared you for where you're at right now?
So I want to do it quickly and chronologically.
Okay.
I started out as I explained. I was born in Markham, Illinois.
Okay.
Right, it's a south suburb of Chicago.
Okay.
I was born to the Carter family.
Okay.
And it was at the time early 80s when I was born, 83 to be exact. I was born into a drug family.
Okay.
And growing up inside of that drug family, I got a chance to observe as we had a conversation about my gift and my blessing from the Most High is my ability to observe.
Okay.
Right. So I got a chance to watch my father, my uncles, and their friends run an organization. Unfortunately, it was the drug trade, but fortunately, I seen kings congregate, and I seen them organize, and they organize locally and then nationally. Again, not glorifying the drug trade at all,
Right.
but I'm glorifying the fact that when men come together, it's effective, it's powerful, and folks don't like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And unfortunately, I got a chance to see death.
Okay.
At an early age.
Right.
I got a chance to see drug addiction at an early age.
Right.
So it molded me at an early age to understand that first and foremost, I'm from a hustling bloodline.
Right.
And second of all, you don't want to sell dope.
Well,
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, they was giving out social security numbers for people that violated back then, right?
Yeah, and I got a chance. Unfortunately, I observe a lot of my uncles. They went to jail and they just now getting out.
Okay.
Shout out Toby. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They just now getting out for 25, 30 years ago and all these.
And that's what I was saying.
Yeah. So and then people don't understand the depression that comes behind it as well. I've watched my uncle get murdered, and then my dad being his older brother, Troy Carter Jr. I'm Troy Carter III.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And my granddad, Troy Carter Sr., rest in peace. I seen my dad. I mean, people speak about the incarceration, people speak about the murder and all these different things, but what about the mass depression that it brings? So I seen that.
Everyone.
Yeah. So I seen the fall of empire.
Right.
And then when the empire fell, I was, being raised by my mother in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Shout out to 414, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Very unique city. And when I being raised in Milwaukee, I got a chance to see where the devil migrates to.
Oh man.
Yeah, and all of the crime that happens in Chicago when people run, they were running Milwaukee.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
I did figure that out. I
Yeah.
did figure that out because I've been
Yeah.
hanging out in your city a little bit. I did figure that out.
Yeah,
Right.
they figure like, oh, this is a safer place, but in reality, y'all all just met up here.
Right.
And me being from having dual, residences, I got a chance to see that. You get what I'm saying? So Milwaukee kind of gave me a chance to observe how the enemy really works. You know what I'm saying? Milwaukee lured a lot of black families in the early 80s with welfare. You get what I'm saying?
Man.
They gave double what other cities and states were getting.
Okay.
And food stamps and government benefits and stuff like that.
Right.
So of course it drew a lot of our women, our mothers, to that place.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So of course the men gonna follow the women.
Well, of course.
You know what I'm saying?
It's just like the club. You get the women in there, we coming.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. So I watched Milwaukee be a thriving city with people from all over, moving to that place for its opportunities. And then I watched it slowly die. So I grew up in a dying city. You get what I'm saying?
Man.
Yeah. So early on, specifically in 1993, I unfortunately witnessed a massacre of our people in Milwaukee with crypto ceridium. And crypto ceridium is when our water supply was poisoned. The sewage system, it somehow mixed in with our local drinking water.
That don't just happen by accident.
It don't, but that's what they say was an accident. And they say only a few people died or whatever the case, but I believe thousands died. Okay. I believe it was just classified as something else. Kind of like with the COVID thing, how,
right.
or how they say, or you die from a heart attack or you die from respiratory problems. Well, is it COVID or not? You get what I'm saying?
Right. All right. What was the common denominator?
What was the common denominator?
Right.
And that's a lot of what they do. They skew the numbers in Chicago and Milwaukee and in many cities. You'll get shot today, and then they'll say you died from some other reason tomorrow because you didn't die today from that bullet wound.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I watched that happen in Milwaukee, and actually, the reason why we're drinking water bottles today is because of that situation in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It's classified or is documented as the biggest water crisis in America prior to Katrina.
And I didn't know that.
Yeah, and most people don't know that. You get what I'm saying? Right. We grew up, and then still to this day, you hear about the Flint water,
right?
the Flint problem, right? Well, we have that same problem for the same amount of time, but it was never publicized.
Okay.
There's been protests about our drinking supply, how our lead lateral pipes or our pipes, our drinking water pipes are full of lead.
No.
Right? And that lead in our water contribute to cognitive deficiencies. And then when you mix in the crack epidemic, and the mass incarceration epidemic, and then these children are drinking lead, and then lead was still in our products and like the paint and all that stuff. Imagine the people I went to school with. Imagine the anger, and we spoke about anger before, but imagine how angry this crack baby is in my class. He can't be still.
Right.
He can't control his emotion, and it ain't his fault.
Right.
He's confused.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right. And it's a bigger problem. And I think that's when, and I don't know how y'all did it up here, but they start kind of diagnosing all the kids with ADHD and putting them on that medicine.
Yeah.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but they what about crack? So they ain't had nothing to do. You know what I'm saying? The ADHD ain't got that. The fact his mother was on drugs, his father was on drugs, ain't got nothing to do with his ADHD.
Right.
That's again how they classify our deficiencies is very unique and strategic, right? So I grew up around a bunch of crack babies, bro.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? Right. I grew up around a bunch of children with single mothers because of mass incarceration.
Right.
Another little known fact is, most people know that United States is the #1 incarcerating country in the world. You've heard that, correct?
Right. I have heard that statistic.
Wisconsin is the #1 incarcerating state in the country, and Milwaukee is the biggest city in Wisconsin. So by default, Milwaukee is probably the #1 incarcerated city in the entire world.
That's crazy.
You get what I'm saying?
Right, that's crazy.
So I'm growing up in this crack-infested, incarcerating ass city with lead in the water. You know what I'm saying? And it was just a recipe for disaster. The factories moved away. You know, we the home of Jeffrey Dahmer too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like don't add that because the deck already stacked
right. You
against
see what I'm saying?
Yeah, so don't add that.
Right. And it's like Milwaukee is not a small city, but it's not a big city. It's one of the medium cities.
Right.
So when you combine all of those different components, this is my generation of existence.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Right. Now I'm going to school with all of these people with all of these issues, and I'm trying to maintain my peace and peace of mind in this space.
And sanity, right.
And my sanity in this space.
Correct.
So that's my early years. So when the opportunities start to leave the city because it was getting so bad with crime and
Correct.
and all of this stuff, I had to learn how to fend for myself. Mm-hmm. You know, so early on, of course, I stepped into the hustle world.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? And
that's what was readily available.
Always. Come on now. In every community, we always, but it's not even it's a necessity. It's nothing but a necessity for us. A lot of us, you know, we put a bad name on hustling or you know, because they tell us don't sell drugs, don't do drugs and stuff like that. But they don't say nothing about employment opportunity. They don't say nothing about the lack of employment opportunity. They don't say nothing about the corporations being ran by white males that don't want to hire black males.
Right.
You understand? So if we got 80 to 90% of the corporations are ran by white males, and because we're angry, I guess for no reason, and they don't want to hire us, then we're unemployable. So now we go to the streets. And you know what I'm saying, how that crack trade happened.
Right.
So when we go to the streets and we touch crack, remember they was giving out a year per rock or some crazy ass, something like that.
And I forgot the correct term for it, but what they was given, I don't want to use the word soft, but what they was given for cocaine versus what they was given for rocks
was crazy.
It was crazy, and that's one of the reasons why the laws ended up having to change.
Yeah,
but it was blatant racism because, of course, the brothers kind of dealt more with crack, and then cocaine was more of a leisure, but no, I'm sorry, recreational drug at that time.
The rich man drug, they call it. Yeah.
So that's why I say recreational.
Yeah. So I grew up in all of that, and again, as I said, my blessing, my gift from the Most High is to be able to observe, and not to involve myself in certain things. So I'm sitting back and watching all of these things change. I'm watching the trees die. I'm watching the grass die. You get what I'm saying? Literally. And when all of these men went to jail, again, I'm in school age around this time, I'm watching all of our fathers go to jail, right? So now I'm seeing a city turn nothing but hustlers.
Right.
Which was kind of a dope thing at first. Like we hustle, you know, all seasons.
But not to cut you off, but once they removed the big dog, he was kind of the gatekeeper.
Yeah.
And so during that time, of course, nobody wanted their son to go down that road because we want our kids to be better than us.
Right.
And so,
and my dad would always say that, don't be like me, be better than me.
Be better than me.
You get what I'm saying? And that definitely stuck with me. So to fast forward through all of this, you know, at an early age when I figured my mother didn't have it, you know, I started to learn to hustle, you know, and me coming from a multi-million-dollar background, unfortunately street background, I aimed high. So I started out hustling, and then I became the connect early, before the age of 20. And to be 100, because again, I'm on your show, and you know what I'm saying?
Be transparent, because again, and this is why I'm glad that you're giving the audience you.
Yeah.
I want them to go on your journey, because remember, and this is, please don't lose your thought, because you're going where I need you to go. But we talked about purpose. We talked about manifestation, and we talking about journey.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna tie it in with the marathon, because that's where you started at.
Yeah.
And people, it's almost like a preacher. If he's talking to his audience and he never did nothing wrong, then I don't want to. Right. I don't want to hear from him.
Right.
I want him to tell me, "Hey, boy, I used to chase them girls.
Yeah.
I used to be in." That's what I want to hear.
Yeah.
And then I see the refined product.
Yeah.
I don't want to see a perfect preacher that never did nothing. And so I'm glad. Because again, you're telling them some stuff that I didn't know.
Right.
And so with you, remember, I get a chance to see the finished product. So now I think I like you a little more than I see you was a little more rough around the edges.
Yeah.
So now I know when we were out to dinner earlier, like my joke really was funny because you really understood what I was saying. But back to to what your story is,
Mm-hmm.
you were always ambitious.
Mm-hmm.
Hustling was in your blood, in your DNA,
Mm-hmm.
as well as you had saw it work.
Mm-hmm.
So when you got ready to make the transition or pivot,
Mm-hmm.
or we'll just say necessary adjustment,
Right.
what triggered that for you though?
So when I got involved, and when I say connect, I was the connect, bro. I figured out how to get it.
Right.
And you know what I'm saying? And again, I want to be transparent because I'm not glorifying it, but I won't, because when you see, like you said, you see the finished product or the polished product, but the masses don't know that.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? Because I was cut from that cloth. We don't talk about what we do.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And also my own cloth that was given to me by the Most High is that I'm not glorifying nothing I'm doing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? What I'm trying to do is create an opportunity. So the pivot was when I got a chance to do that, but not go too deep into it. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And I was playing football.
Right. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Football was my outlet.
Okay.
You know, I was one of the number one defensive players in the state of Wisconsin.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? I played defensive end.
So hold on. So I'm the only quarterback that you ain't really just wrestled to the ground.
Hey man.
Okay.
Hey, listen,
okay.
I'm getting anxious right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But no, that was my thing, man, and that was my outlet. And it's crazy. I seen brother Charleston White. You know what I mean? Which is a wise man, a strategic brother. You know, he rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But I heard him say something, man, it triggered me, man. He said something about how these men these young men that are raised by their mothers, and their mothers are angry women or whatever kind of mother they are, the only outlet for this young boy who's getting checked by a woman, but he's a man or a king, his only outlet is when he get on that field. And that struck a nerve because, you know, God bless my mother, but you know, it was rough at home because, you know what I'm saying? And when I would get out to that field, them niggas knew. I mean, excuse my language, but no, they knew.
And watch this. It was therapy.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
It was an outlet, and it was what you looked for.
Sorry to all of y'all limbs that I broke, but
look. And believe it or not, because I guess now in the new age they call it that dog.
Yeah.
But you had that dog in you for a different reason, because it was, I don't want to say pent up frustration, but that's how you released your valve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah, and that football was so therapeutic, brother. And fortunately, you know, it carried me. It gave me a direction out of the situation.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I always knew that I wanted to go to Grambling State University.
Okay.
Right. So in my later years, you know, so I finished up high school late because, you know, when you hustle, and I had 2 jobs, you know, all sorts of hustling.
See, don't leave that part out. Because I don't want them to think that you just walk around with a clock.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
no.
Let them know you punched the clock too.
No, I definitely had walked around with the clock, but the big clock. But I actually had 2 jobs.
Right.
You know what I mean? I worked at a Burlington Coat Factory.
Okay.
And I worked at security. I did security at a company called Menards out there. It was like Home Depot.
Okay.
Yeah, so I always kept 2 jobs, and I went to school, and I hustled, and I sold cars and cell phones, and I did whatever I could to never have to ask anybody for anything. You get what I'm saying?
Oh man,
I had to. You know, I know you share some of those.
Oh, come on, man.
You get what I'm saying?
I don't like the word no, and I'm not talking about from a position of arrogance.
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about from something that's a need or a want that's not too excessive.
Yeah.
I don't like for a person to say, no, I can't have that.
Exactly.
And so that motivated me. And I think I shared the story with you earlier. Not that this about me, because it's about you. But until I reached a certain level of maturity, I didn't understand that my mom was saying no, because she really didn't have it.
Right.
She already was robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Right.
It was a single parent household. See, all those things I didn't understand.
Right.
I just knew that you said no.
Right. And I had to learn it myself too, man. Oh my God, that's such an important lesson, that our parents, our mothers particularly, they're not against us because they say no. And that's why I don't blame the mothers. I don't blame a lot of us for a lot of things we do, because we don't know until we become an adult. We don't know that, you know, the value of $1 until we become an adult, when these bills never stop again, ever.
Man.
You know what I'm saying?
And so watch this. You just triggered something in me. Even though we stayed in the hood, I heard that my mama made $16,000. So think about it. We doing regular math in school.
Right.
So I really
sound like a lot.
I promise you, bro. So now I'm thinking you definitely don't love me because you done told me no 100 times.
Right.
And so how all that goes back to what you saying right now, and I'm glad that you being this transparent.
Mm-hmm.
We heard anger,
Mm-hmm.
right? We heard, because therapy really wasn't available,
Mm-hmm.
but football was your therapy.
Yes, sir.
And let me say this. Think about now, and this is something I want to go back to. You, regardless of what you did or how you made away,
Mm-hmm.
you still had a job.
Yes, sir.
Well, a couple jobs.
N was in school.
Okay, so watch this. And I know nobody gonna like this, what I'm about to say. The new generation, they got the most opportunity. They definitely the smartest.
Mm-hmm.
And then they get to take the test with all the answers available.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to do the work part.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that frustrates me is them not having no type of work ethic at all.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we don't want to admit it because we don't want nobody to say that we're bashing the single parent home.
Mm-hmm.
But what's happening, and I hate to admit it, Charleston White, to the untrained eye, he looked crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And to the untrained eye, they trying to say that he's a plant. But when he's not being funny and when he's not getting attention, if you listen to him,
he's enlightened.
Man, I promise you.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody gonna like this either. He can reach some people that we can't reach.
Absolutely.
And he makes some very valid points.
Strategic.
Now, very strategic. And him and the algorithm get along because we over here right now, we talking about him.
Yes, sir.
So it did work. But my point is, with the mothers that raised the boys,
mm-hmm.
nobody wants their kids to go through what they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And we all want our kids to be better.
Mm-hmm.
But somewhere along the line, we started cuddling, and this is just my opinion. We started cuddling the little boys just a little too much. And when I say cuddling, we know we want men to raise men.
Yeah.
But if that's not the case, you still got to have one that's well-rounded. So I know they was, some of the little boys, from a parent standpoint, they're going to make sure they get their schoolwork.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they definitely going to teach them about God or religion or whatever their preference is. But I just think that a lot of the young men that's out here now hadn't seen no real work ethic or adversity to where when they do see it or come across it, like they really just can't handle it. And some unfold, in my opinion.
I believe that we are all victims of systems of oppression.
Okay.
I believe that I see what you're saying. They behind a video game and they don't understand work ethic. They don't understand going out and figure out something for themselves. But think about generationally, it's always systems of oppression. In your generation, you definitely grew up and was a part of the crack epidemic.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? So you was you was attracted and addicted to that money. You get what I'm saying? Then we grow up in an over-sexualized system of oppression where we chasing women, women chasing men.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? I believe just the evolution of systematic oppression is the video gaming era. These children they have everything at their fingertips. Like you said, how you phrase it, the answers to the test.
Right. Yeah. Open book test.
Shout out Google. You know what I'm saying?
And now AI. And remember,
Yeah.
and again, I'm not being a hater,
Mm-hmm.
but of course, I grew up with the whole figure it out.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that y'all got more stuff, but what are you doing with the more, the things that you got? What are they actually doing with it?
Well, think about systems of oppression is designed for you not to know how to do anything with the resources you have. Think about the financial power we had. Again, not to bring, because it was an important part of life for me and you.
Right.
The drug era, the crack era, right? Think about the amount of finances that was going through our hands and through, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And think about now the knowledge you have of the financial system.
Right.
How powerful were you back then if you had the mind that you have now of finances, of the credit systems, of, you know what I'm saying?
And you know what? Hold on, you brought up a very valid point. at the height of the crack era, epidemic, or whatever you want to call it, there was nobody talking about financial literacy.
Nobody.
Then, because the hood had all the money.
No, yeah, and it was in physical form. Nobody was building credit.
Right.
We literally could have built our family's credit off the money that we was generating, and had way more money in outside of the streets.
Right, you're right.
We were absent. We were blocked out from that knowledge.
Right.
System of oppression.
Right.
You know what I mean? So now these cats, these young dudes, they have access to this information. But watch, as soon as they learn it, as we are learning it, they're gonna switch the whole system up.
Now I definitely agree with that, because in my opinion, whatever and it's kind of funny because sometimes we watch a movie and we say, "No, that's not possible. That's not what's going to happen."
Yeah.
And then 15 years down the road, it actually happened.
Right.
So I do believe that on everything, we probably 10 years behind. You feel me? And so again, but it's people like me and you that's getting together and having conversations like these, and then being able to mentor some of the other people that's coming up, from behind us. And it's one thing that I want to touch on, and I'm trying to say it the right way. You said that you observed. Did you say superpower? What did you say specifically? Like, I'm saying, your gift.
Blessing from the Most High.
All right. So your blessing from the Most High. First of all, you had to find out what your gift was, and then of course you gave credit to where credit is due.
Right.
Sometimes as men, they don't know what their gift is.
Right.
All right. And so between not knowing what your gift is and not having a purpose, I think sometimes we just not woke.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so, of course, none of us are Dr. King. We can't save everybody. But I believe that we got to get back to some mentorship. I believe we got to get back to some shadowing. And the reason why I'm saying that is because as a people, things that we observe, we can do, or we can mimic, or we can copy. And I just think that the learning curve of life is too steep for us to continually just ram my head on the wall. Like that wall that's behind you right now, I realize that that's brick. So in the physical form, I don't want to just hit my head up against the wall because my head gonna break before the wall do.
Right.
And that's the mentality or the mindset that I think or the approach that I think that we need to take with this whole knowledge thing. And so getting back to you, because it's still a few other things that you do now. And I know that the audience is going to know where you came from. But before we get to where you're actually going, let me know what you're doing right now. Because now they already know you used to walk around with a clock. And they know that you're woke, and they know that you understand statistics. But let them know what you're doing right now. And so I'm going to tie it in from there.
So definitely, and before I go to there, I want to clean up that whole. So I got an opportunity to leave that environment.
Okay.
And one very important thing, and I believe a lot of people will benefit from this, is before I got a chance to leave that environment, there was anchors on my ankles.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Man.
And one of those anchors was out of nowhere. I'm going to Milwaukee Area Technical College at this time. I'm playing semi-pro football, busting their head.
Okay.
And, preparing to go to Grambling State University, because I remember I graduated late and all of that.
Right.
So I'm working, doing a little hustling and all this stuff, getting ready to go to Grambling. Then boom, one day I found myself in jail.
Okay.
And charged with attempted murder. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, of course, I didn't do it. Obviously, I'd be still in jail.
Right. Of course.
But the environment that I was around, and shout out to those people that survived that situation and made it out of that environment. I understand that we were all young and ignorant, and we all made mistakes. And I love you and I forgive you for those who, they were involved in that situation.
Right.
And forgive me for those people I put in situations. But I found myself in a jam right when I was about to ascend.
Oh man,
you get what I'm saying?
Because you had a straight shot to Grambling. It was already set, signed, sealed, and delivered.
Oh, let me tell you how straight the shot was. My family sold the land for Grambling to be built on.
No. See, this is another reason why we got this is another reason why we got a dialogue.
Yeah.
Because look what happens when we dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my great rest in peace to my rest in energy to the queen of my family, Darlene Davis. She was a switchboard operator in Grambling.
Okay.
That's who raised my mother.
Okay.
You know, and my mother used to tell me stories about how my grandmother would be the switchboard operator and like the president would call it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
Politicians would call and she
Right.
get a chance to. My grandmother was the first person they talked to because they had to
Of course.
switch the lines.
Yeah,
like,
that's old
okay,
school. Right,
patch
right,
me in. Yeah,
right,
old
right,
school.
right,
you know
right,
what I'm saying?
right.
So, and then Coach Eddie Robinson, you remember him?
Yeah, legend.
Yeah,
Come on.
Coach. That's a
Legendary.
friend of our family. You know what I
Come
mean?
on, man.
Yeah, you know.
So hold up, and so not to cut you off, he would have been considered a real influencer back then.
Oh yeah,
he could influence the influencers.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, Eddie Robinson,
Right.
man,
Legend.
and his name ain't brought up enough. Like that's the winningest coach in NCAA history.
Yeah, they leave that part out.
Yeah, they leave that part out. How you not mention Eddie Robinson in every year,
Right.
every week? Hell, you know.
Right. Right.
So I mean, just a piece of history that they try to bury. They try to bury a lot of important components. But anyway, you know. So fortunately, I got out that gym and I got a chance to go down to Grambling State University, which was beautiful. But and a lot of us brothers, we do this, you know, in the industry, music industry, all type of industries. I carried that cloud with me to that beautiful place.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
I you know, what they call the survivor's remorse.
Right.
You know, I couldn't. It was just, you know, a week ago or two, I was in this jam, and then now I'm around all these young, ambitious young men and women
Right.
from all over the country and all over the world. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So fast forward through that process, I'm getting ready to get on this, you know, walk on this Grambling State team. I'm looking at the competition. I'm like, oh, y'all kids.
Oh man.
You know what I'm saying? No, that's
right.
Yo,
Taking candy from a baby.
Come
right.
on now. I'm just fresh off the championship in the semi-pro league, and
Right.
you know what I'm saying. Then I see y'all that y'all still live with y'all mama. I got my own. You know what I'm saying?
They looking like food.
They looking like food, bro.
Right,
honestly, shout out to y'all, food. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey.
but my pops died the first semester.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Troy Carter Sr. You know what I'm saying? This I'm gonna say how you say this nigga done got up out of here on me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He was rough around the edges.
Right.
That's how he talk. But he got up out of here on me, and it kind of killed that thirst for football.
Right.
But it amplified that hustle in me, and I didn't want to, you know, hustle the other way. I wanted to hustle, you know, with my education, with my mind. So that's what brought me to Las Vegas.
Okay.
Right. So in 2006, I moved to Las Vegas without nothing, you know?
Right.
And shout out to and rest in energy to my auntie Bucci, Auntie Carolyn Smith, Carolyn Davis, Carolyn Smith. But she I came and lived with her and my cousin Slim William Smith. And they were out here, man, I'm gonna introduce them brothers, man, some amazing brothers.
Yeah.
But they were out here selling CDs on the strip, bro.
No, man.
Hand in hand.
Come on, man.
I'm talking about
'Cause
busting
you
their
gotta look
head.
at where I'm from. That's how you know that's how we did it now.
Yeah.
That's how
So
my
they brought
era.
that Midwest hustle to Vegas, man. These brothers will go 10, 20 deep on the strip, making $200-$300 a night a piece.
Right.
They're grossing $3,000 to $6,000 every single night.
Right. Come on, man.
I wasn't good at it.
Right. Nah, that's
You know,
the hustle.
it's difficult for me to don't tell me no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know, so I didn't, you know, jump into that initially. I really wanted to get into the marketing, but I had no money. So what I do? I found a connect.
Somebody that did marketing.
I found, and again, just to be clear, it's not cocaine or crack. My hustle of choice was cannabis.
Okay.
That ironically is legal, right?
Yeah.
They're making billions off of it.
Right,
So fortunately, to speed through a little more, I came here. I got myself established, and I worked. I definitely got a job,
right?
You know, which you said,
you gonna keep working.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep working.
Hold
you know,
multiple streams. I'm just joking.
Hey. But I end up stabilizing myself, and you know, run into a little Vegas BS. But then I found I made my peace with the Most High,
right?
You know, and I tried to stabilize myself, and I got married,
right? Okay,
you know what I mean.
Salute.
So a year after me being in Vegas, almost to the day, I got married.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Unfortunately, that wasn't the right move.
Right.
But I had the right intentions.
Right.
You know, I didn't want to be a pimp. I didn't want to be a hustler.
Right.
I wanted to be a dad.
Okay.
You know, plus I had my first semester in college. To backtrack real quick, I had my first child.
Okay.
As well. Anyway, so now I got just me and my baby out here in Las Vegas. So I had to figure out something. So, I definitely did jump back into the hustle world, and that hustle world enabled me.
Right.
And you can testify to this as well. That hustle world, because I come from the background of being hustling there. Now I got better connects on this side, again, with the legal cannabis industry.
Right.
Anyway, but I got I amplified my hustle, and I was able to, with other streams of income, become a millionaire here in Las Vegas.
There it is.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Nobody knew this.
Right.
All of my friends around, because I never glorified it, because it wasn't about the hustle, it was about the opportunity.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I was able to open up a company called Spark City Network.
Okay.
And at Spark City Network, I had a free studio. And shout out to all the people who know that here in Las Vegas,
So you was still, I ain't gonna say Robin Hood, but you was giving back.
Absolutely.
Right.
Every too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I was giving back. I opened up this studio because I seen so many people that I believed in. My heart was huge.
Right.
So I would go out of town and do what I do, and then nobody never did it here in Las Vegas.
Right.
Everybody thought I was just this
studio man.
Studio, not even studio. It was I opened up a marketing office. Spark City Network is a marketing company.
Okay.
So I went back to hustling with my mind.
Right.
So my objective was to, and then it's going to lead into what I'm doing today. My objective was to go into multiple markets and develop relationships with program directors, promoters, you know what I'm saying? People like yourself.
Right.
And I was able to accumulate, because of my financial freedom.
Of course.
I was able to accumulate resources and intentionally, and create a database of all kind of connections.
Right.
Intentionally. And then bring those resources back to these folks that I was dealing with here in Las Vegas.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
And so let me say this. At that point, so we're not even gonna worry about how it was getting funded. You was pursuing your passion.
Yeah.
And so you were still giving back.
Absolutely.
Because it wasn't about the money. You was making money.
Exactly.
So right. Okay.
Yeah, and it will never be about the money. It's always about serving God, honestly. And I never lost track of that. And I used to battle with it. I used to think I never thought I was doing a bad thing, or otherwise I wouldn't have done it. Again, I didn't sell crack and guns.
Right.
I didn't pimp females.
Right.
I sold trees.
Right. And they said trees legal.
It's legal.
Yeah, they don't play that in Florida.
Right. And guess why they say they legalize trees? Because of poverty situations in certain communities and stuff like that. So because of the economy is down, and they just made provisions to legalize these trees, but yet never give no kind of payback to those who lost their lives doing the very same thing.
Right.
So I was like, fuck that system a long time ago, honestly. Right. But yeah, so so that's kind of like what brings me to what I'm doing today. Currently. Is that opportunity afforded me the opportunities to meet brothers like you around the country.
Right.
And because I'm a real brother, I kept them real connections. The old school way, grassroots marketing.
Man, listen to me. And not to cut you off. Mm-hmm. Relationships. Man.
Relationships.
And I know people, when they hear the word relationships, they say, okay, I'm old school. Mm-hmm. But relationships and favor, in my opinion, can get you through some doors.
Yes.
That your
pockets can't.
They can't.
Yeah. I mean, me and you both, we seen, how many artists you done seen with plenty money, streets or however they got it, and they still can't make it.
Not only can they not make it, over here, this could be a cash cow or a money pit.
Right.
You feel me?
Yes.
And so it will find the entertainment business.
Oh yeah.
Will find out how deep
your
pockets really is.
Yeah.
So come over here beating on your chest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They got.
As a matter of fact, I think the entertainment business is undefeated.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think it's undefeated.
Me too. Who beat it?
Yeah, very few.
Very few.
And it's one thing that you said it in another way. I think it was a conscious effort by the powers that be to make sure that it wasn't no more Master P's and babies and
systems of oppression.
Right. And so even though we could have a different take, what we do agree on is this. The reason why you got to always be sharp and always be forward thinking, because as soon as the formula gets figured out, it gets changed. now that's just my 2 cents.
No, that's facts.
You know what I'm saying?
Like I said, as soon as we figure out the credit system and all of that, as we're figuring it out now, they're gonna change it.
Oh no, that's in the process. As a matter of fact, the numbers, the needle getting moved. I think they're going to introduce it. I don't want to mess up because I haven't checked it over the last couple. But I think February it changes. The FICO requirements definitely changing.
Well, they're gonna boost it up to 700.
No,
1,000 credit
trust
score.
me. Yeah, it's going to be 1,100 because like and now with some of the things that's going on the internet and with the sharing of information and with more people figuring it out and it trickling down, then it's definitely going to get changed.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate, but we're innovative people and we have information at our fingertips, so we know how to roll with the punches.
And that's one of the things, besides giving people their flowers, that I want people to hear from this show. We've seen adversity. We've got punched, we've got kicked, and worse. But we still the leaders.
Yes, sir.
We still the innovators.
Yes, sir.
We still got the pulse, and we create the culture. So with that being said, if we can just get the mindset, the work ethic, and add a little bit of know-how and a little bit of faith with that, then all of us can get to the next level.
Yes, sir.
And it won't just be a chosen few.
Yes, sir.
And so I just appreciate just even the way that we dialogued, and even though some of it was business, but when you can go from business to personal to beliefs, and then, just go back and forth like that effortless, it goes to show that these conversations are needed. It's just that it's not a lot of places or platforms to where we can really, really fellowship. And so I know that whether it's a person in my audience or your audience, just from some of the things that they've seen or heard from you today, then it's going to motivate them, man. And that's really what my goal is. I don't claim to be Dr. King. I don't claim to be perfect. I could get into a fight on the basketball court tomorrow. I'm not speaking that, but I'm human. But the one thing that I'm going to stand firm on is we can give out the information and we can speak life, and I can tell people about my mistakes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I want people to be able to draw from. I got to ask you this. We know everybody, because we're, getting close to the end of the year. We know soon as 2024 hit, everybody's going to be talking about what they're going to do.
Right.
But people like us, we've already started to make preparation, or like the airplanes say, we're starting to descend. And so I'd like to know what's next for you, what are, in terms of your brand, from your long-term goals, what's next for you?
So my brand is called PowerUp Multimedia Marketing, and everything is coming full circle.
Okay.
And we now get a chance to show all of the networking that we've done, the relationships that we built.
Right.
Brothers, especially, listen, bro, this is, we spoke about this alignment and purpose and all of these things. We are living and talking and speaking in purpose right now. The vibrations that we kicking through these airways, bro, is unmatched. And when you saying what you were saying earlier, to piggyback off what you were saying earlier, you now have the voice. I have the voice. And when our voices combine, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's like them gangs uniting.
That's it.
You get what I'm saying? When you unite the light, that's when you illuminate and you're recognized by the Most High, in my opinion.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? So I created a company my company's called PowerUp Multimedia, and it's piggybacked off a company I created called a movement I created called the PowerUp Music Tour.
Okay.
And PowerUp is derived from a collective conjuring of the Most High energy.
Okay.
And that came from me being in a desperate time of life.
Okay.
And I sought out a message from the Most High. And the message was Power Up. And then it came a collective conjuring of the Most High energy. And the mission for Power Up is unity in real time.
Okay.
I will always be selfless. I will always be a server of the Most High.
There it is.
So when I got my purpose, you understand? I got my instructions, bro. I was free.
Right.
I'm still free.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? No matter how, and it's important for people to know, brothers and sisters, young and old, we gonna go through ebbs and flows, ups and downs. You get what I'm saying? You gonna fuck around and throw up every ups and downs you go through.
And life is gonna be life.
Life is gonna be life. So with Power Up, I had to drop that dream for a little while because of certain people that we lent our light to. And we spoke about these cats. We give these people opportunities with the hopes that they acknowledge us for our contributions to them.
Correct.
But they never contribute to us. You get what I'm saying? They always take from us and they never replenish us. And we were the fools that thought that they were actually going to bring something back to us. You know what I'm saying?
And let me chime in on that. The same way you knew what your gift was,
Mm-hmm.
and it's kind of crazy when I say this, you're gonna laugh. One of the first things that happened prior to the season in football is they do an assessment and then they give you your positions.
Mm-hmm.
And then they give you the plays. They don't give you the plays first and then give you the positions.
Correct.
Well, in life, we never did a position check.
Mm.
It's givers and it's takers.
Mm-hmm.
We assumed that everybody was givers.
Yes, sir.
Because we was a giver.
Yes, sir.
Then
they
we
not
found
like us, bro.
right. Then we found
Mhm.
out that they was takers.
Yes.
And not only were they takers, we never set limits.
Right.
So they just kept taking.
Right.
And so now I don't use the give and take analogy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
What I say is this. I know who I am and I know what I got worked out with the universe and God.
Yeah.
I'm going to continue to make deposits.
Yes.
But now I'm not counting on man when I need a withdrawal.
Yes, sir.
That's the only difference.
Yes, sir. Yeah. I mean, and again, of course we live and learn, but unfortunately, we can't get that time back.
No.
And fortunately, we have that gained wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we spoke on it earlier, and just let the world know, it's a gift. And I'm talking to the young brothers and brothers in general. It's a gift to be able to speak to brothers like you. It's a gift to be able to sit down and listen to your experiences.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift to learn from your mistakes. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why, and I don't have a problem telling you the bad. You know what I'm saying? And it's like sometimes with the hard head or the ones that they say are not coachable, and I'm speaking on artists, when they bring them to me, it's a reason why I could get through to them because I know what they're going through.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I don't do the same strategy for everybody. It has to be cookie. It can't be cookie cutter because I got to see who they are.
Right.
And what their makeup is.
Got to be customized.
It got to be customized. And so one thing, and me and you both understand this, again, I'm going to keep talking about dialoguing. And we networking, but look, me and you present. You see what I'm saying? So we could have did a little bit over Zoom. We could have kept talking. You know how we was talking.
Yeah.
But the fact that we here, now we can really start to build. And then I think the Most High will give us the direction that we should be taking. You feel me? And the one thing that I want to say that's off subject is this. When your brand got value, then you got leverage. So I would challenge the people that's coming behind me not to focus on who's supporting you. Just get the support. Because when your brand get value, you're going to have leverage. And that's what I want them to focus on. Basically, because in football, we still want you to practice and know the plays. I want them to focus on their craft, focus on their niche, find out how you going to get 6 degrees of separation. And let's not, because I believe it is power in the tongue, let's not speak that it's competition.
Train into your numbers called.
There it is. Okay. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. And see, but again, jewels. And it's something that you said about observing to where it's been times to where I could have been the voice of reason. It's been times to where I could have been the voice of authority. But I got so many young guys, man, that I learned so much from. Even if it was just them teaching me how they think. I may not agree with it, right? But I know how to get them to a common ground. Because one thing that I do know about this new generation, they do like what they see. So if you got any chance of converting them, you just got to show them that, look, that way that you're doing right there, and not that everything is money, but if they doing $5,000 in shows by themselves, and I show them that, look, you left 5,000 on the table, so you really should be making 10, I got his attention.
Right.
And so from there, and you brought this up too, so this is another reason why I love talking to you, that from there I can learn how they learn So then I could change my curriculum so that I could reach them.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's where I'm at, man.
Absolutely. And speaking of those people you're talking about, like I can't forget to shout out my grandmother, who's no longer with us, Evelyn Davis. She gave me 60 plus grandchildren to be the lead of. I'm the oldest of 60 plus grandchildren from one mother, one woman.
Man,
You know what I'm
y'all ain't going nowhere.
You understand?
Oh man, yeah, y'all ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, bro, and I'm so blessed to be the oldest of them people. They grown and young.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I understand that it's my responsibility to always be a reflection of positivity to them and show them, like, even, man, I gotta show them that there is a way.
Right.
There is, once you find your purpose, I have to show them that there's no greater peace than purpose. Right. You get what I'm saying?
And I'm gonna say this. We ain't got to worry about franchising. We should have. Hey, your brand should be in every city, man. We strapped.
Yeah.
So, but no, that's my thing. But I definitely want to thank you, man, really for just coming on the show and really for digging deep and being transparent. Because when we show people our flaws or our shortcomings or the times that we had to pivot, then it'll make them feel better about when they have to. And the two things that I teach outside of that is I tell people, please don't have self-inflicted wounds because the game hard enough by itself, right? And then the second thing is this here. It's okay to make the necessary adjustments. It's okay. And that's one of the things that I think some of the people that will listen to us, that did listen to us today, I think that they'll get that you didn't sit up here and try to be perfect. You didn't sit up here and try to be holier than thou. And you didn't try to make nobody feel less than. Right. And I think one of the things with my age group that we got to do in terms of reaching back is we got to tell y'all how raggedy we was and really how it went down versus just telling y'all don't do this and don't do that. And I'm going to say this. I definitely appreciate the hospitality since I've been here. And if it's anything that you want to say to the audience or anything that you want to let my audience know that you got coming up, man, pop yours.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. PowerUp Multimedia Marketing. I'm a marketing strategist, right? So what I want to do is educate independent small businesses, restaurants, talents, and stuff like that. I want to educate them to the importance of marketing. And especially network marketing. So my company, that's what we're doing. We do social media management, which is a foundation of marketing. I want them to understand that your social media is your storefront, your digital storefront. I know you can make a post and you can, jazz up the post and all of that, but we're not consistent. You get what I'm saying? And consistency is key. You notice that McDonald's open their doors every day at a specific time and close their doors every day at a specific time. So what we do at PowerUp Multimedia Marketing is we open and close your doors every single day on time. Right. So that's how we enable people to see your products and services that you have for sale.
Correct.
If people don't know what you have for sale, they can't hire you. They can't book you. You know what I'm saying? And that's the artists. That's the restaurants. That's all these people that invest all these tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands into their businesses and put $0 on marketing. Let's stop doing that because we're ruining fortunes. Right. And again, us here at PowerUp Multimedia, and that's PowerUp Multimedia on Instagram and PowerUpMultimedia@gmail.com. We here to help, and our services are nationwide. And also, we're partnering up with brothers like Quarterback over here. You know what I'm saying? And whatever we can contribute to whatever his movement is, he have our 100% support. So yeah, that's the next move for my company, which is PowerUp Multimedia.
Well, hey, look, I'm gonna say this in terms of, and I'm gonna look at it as a toolbox because of your movement, because of your purpose, and just because of where I know you're going. Bro, if it's ever a tool in my box that you need, you know what I'm saying, let me know. Yes, because this is going to be one of the first steps of brothers seeing other brothers that's like-minded, linking up.
Yes, sir.
And it is a game of follow the leader. We do know that.
We the leaders.
We the leaders. It's also a game of monkey see, monkey do. But this would be the one time.
We ain't the monkeys.
Hold up, never that. But watch this. This would be a time that if they did follow the trend, we wouldn't be leading them wrong.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's why I'm still traveling. That's why I'm still outside. And I'm gonna be outside for a while because I ain't in no rush to go in. But my goal and my purpose is really to empower, enlighten, and then be able to physically see these guys elevate, man. So that's where we at. I appreciate you coming on the show, man. Really, it blessed me. And this
mutual.
This is currency to me, though.
Mm-hmm.
This is what it's all about. So I do realize that if me and you get on here and do something stupid, or if you'd have brought a gun here or something like that, we'd get more numbers. But we are going to reach the people that we're supposed to reach.
That's all that matters.
All right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.